Here we are again. Beer. Here we are again. Battered thoughts. It is Sunday, and yes, you hear my washer and my dryer going off in the background, and we're going to get the show started in a second. Oh, and there my guest is. He just got it working all right. He's getting there. Let's add him into the stream. Today, we got El Capitan. Look, you got the stream working. I'm glad.
What's happening, brother? Good to see you.
All right.
So let me start. Slight correction off the bat. I am not the captain of the New York team. I'm the co-captain of the Sentinels, and I'm part of the leadership of the Playgrats. But yeah, like Marco Damiano's captain of the Sentinels, and there's some other people who are also part of the Playgrats leadership. But I'm one of the leadership basically.
Yeah, one of the captains. You're formerly a captain, previous captain, co-captain, whatever. Right. Still the same thing. Captain Morgan. I'm still going to say Captain Morgan.
I've heard it before. I don't get tired of it. I got to tell you.
I think you really should start just doing the pose. Just to start doing the pose. Just to get before.
Well, the funny thing is also. I mean, like I don't drink. Actually, I haven't drank for almost 23 years actually. But when I did drink, I did like Captain Morgan. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and actually, I remember you mentioned that before, and I was like, yeah, he did mention that before, and I completely forgot about it. But, I'm changing the show. I'm changing the format. I'm going to be drinking beer if that's good.
Yeah,
but all my guests from now on don't have to drink beer. If they want to drink beer, they can. If they don't have to. This is more so just about having conversation with a bunch of different combat fighters, and probably some beer people too in the future. But also just kind of really just talking about the, our combat community,
Favorite topic of discussion. And to also put it out there too, I do have a stutter, so sometimes I'm going to talk too fast or get tripped up my words. You need to slow down, repeat myself. I'm not going to get offended or anything like that.
No, it's all good, Morgan. One of the things that I learned about myself while watching my streams back over again. I say the word "like" about 30 times per show.
Same.
And I got out of a habit of doing that, and then I took a long break from the show, and then I got back into saying it. So a lot of saying likes and ums. And I know some people are wondering what I'm doing. I'm pouring up my beer here. I've got a nice coffee stout beer here. From the Masthead Brewing Company. Masthead Brewing. Single origin coffee stout. It's a 1 pint.
Cool.
I'm on my 1 to 2 beers a week drip right now until we get to ACS Nationals in Reno. So if you haven't registered for all the fighters out there, you need to. Morgan, are you guys gonna? Any of the New York teams gonna be there?
Maybe a couple people. To be honest, since the Nationals had gone to the West Coast, very few of us had actually made it out there. Actually, but yeah. I know some folks are interested because the fighting is always good, and we got people who are excited. So if they want to, we're never going to discourage them or something like that. I personally am not going to be, but yeah.
Well, also, where the league's changing. They're doing the paid refs things. They're doing the refs and paying for people to come out there and the refs. That's always an option too for people who,
as opposed to the general misery of being called to ref when no one's available, which is the other 3/4 of the time. But yeah.
But I will say though, you are mostly fair and impartial. You did some counting and refereeing and marshalling at Cardinals last year. You're pretty fair and impartial most of the time.
Thank you. Like ref. It was only 1 day, but it was the first day. But pretty much I'm not sure how far it was into it, but it was not very far. And then like Larry Kohler was like, "It's like Morgan, you're pretty experienced. You want to?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And
okay.
Did it for the whole day.
Yeah. I think one of those things, you've been around for a while, right? How long have you been doing it?
So the very first time I fought was December of 2014 at Knights Hall. It was at a special event that got put together from my best friend who got me basically into steel fighting, James Glacken, formerly of the El Paso Sun Knights. He's still there. So, but yeah, that's actually kind of the story of how I got into it. Ironically enough, even though up there, I actually met the New York guys and then I told guys like on the same day, and you know, James was in contact with both of them, and you know, like, and I also had lived in Boston for about 12 years before then, so I knew a little bit about steel fighting. I'd seen some videos and everything like that, and I figured I'm just gonna go and just you know, cheer on my homeboy, and and just take a look at it. And so time is passing. I mean, I get to know like you know, like the Samurai, Steve Battles, Rodney Versace, and I get to meet Jay, Cat, Ringo, and who else was there? Like Brandon Rossels too. Craig Nadler too. Like, but yeah, I mean, I watched the fight for most of the day. Time is passing. I'm like, yo, can I get in? And so James like, yo, this is obviously why I brought you. So he puts me in his gear. I have 2 fights. I fought Sam and I fought Ringo. Both of them mopped me like pretty swiftly also too. But it was also just, you know, basically within the first 30 seconds, I'm like, okay, whatever it takes to do this, I'm in. And so and then from there also, after I came back, I mean, I stayed in touch with the guys a bit, but it was a while before we had gelled as basically like the Sentinels at that point had just kind of become they had been together, but they only basically took a name at that event. And it was like there were some things that were kind of happening before then, and like some of the branches of those guys, the Long Island guys, like Steve Parker and Steve Battles, and at that time, what's his name? I'm blanking on, but Will Nestor, they were close, so like and that's, so they were doing stuff, and I was separate from them, but I didn't have armor, so I was getting stuff bit by bit, and like basically like as some first practice started to gel, and as we then eventually got like the first place that we practiced at, like I was like, yo, I want to just be in it as much as I could at that point. Right. So like it actually kind of became that early on. Even though like they had more experience than me, I was the one that had to rely on practices the most. So I was the one that was the most diligent about going. Like I was the one that kind of brought some other people to it and everything that were like that didn't have cars. so
I'm going to ask you about that later. Yeah, about the cars.
Yes. So and kind of the way that I evolved into the role that I always had with the team was basically like I have always been trying to recreate the experience that I had. Like in the beginning for other people. So now, although I mean we moved out of putting people in armor like the first day because it was insane and not really the most responsible things, but it was also just like, I mean, I mean, in those days it was just like, hey, just whoever comes in, like we get really excited for them. I thought that, do you want to try it and everything too? But I mean, once there was enough stuff that we could lend out, you know, we would put people in the stuff that we were wearing and the stuff that we had borrowed from some other people, and then it kind of evened out to about 3 practices, and then we're like, all right, well, let's get you in the next time that we can, pretty much. And you know, I mean, so once you have some people who are already willing to like they see this and then they're like, I'm excited for it, you know, I mean, like they get like even there was a little bit of waiting, but it's also like they would get more excited for it, like when it was their time, because they had an idea of it, or they might see us fighting a little bit. We'd have points where we have people like squire for us. So it's like squire once and then get a drummer the next time, so you would have a sense of what you're basically just maintenance
and how to put it on, what you're doing there.
Yeah. So I in that way, like I basically got into the role of person who was always introducing somebody into the armor in like a very just the actual like mechanical sense. like this is what it is, this is what it does. Like, you know, like protect yourself in this way, do this in this way. And I mean, to this day, it's actually probably my most favorite part of it. Also, like that, and we initiate the new guys, which is pretty cool. And,
no, it's cool. No, it's cool. I think that's a very interesting story. I think very similar to that. I think sometimes I agree with you that sometimes it's an issue and there's kind of a confusing time of like, okay, do you put people in like the first day in armor? Do you put them in like the second time? I think at Warlord Combat Academy, it's usually like the first or second time, usually there and there. If you're coming in armor day, we'll put you in armor. And sometimes people have started kind of figuring out that we do typically armor on the weekends mostly. So some people will show up on a weekend, or sometimes they'll show up on a weekday. We're in soft kit. We do some drills, and then you get in. Then like maybe the next day you're coming in and putting armor. We had a new batch of people start this past weekend, and that was a very interesting experience to them. And I think most of them had been had come to like a soft kit practice or a grappling practice or something like that, and then
Yeah,
came in.
When you give somebody just even just a little bit of just some skills to just drill over and over
Yeah.
with swinging, and also like everyone the first time is going to swing a weapon wildly. Everyone, and it's like they're overwhelmed by the actual like the physical sensations of being in armor too. So I mean like here's a little thing where it's like just train like this one or two things and get a little bit comfortable. And also the cool thing about like a soft kit thing, particularly when it's melee, is if you have people who, I mean, because some people come in with deep backgrounds and grappling, like fighting martial arts experience, but there's a lot of people who are just like, this is cool and I want to figure out how.
Yeah.
And you want them to I mean, they're going to be like they're excited but a little intimidated. Some of them will not know when to pull back. So something in between, like where that soft kit, where it's just enough chaos to kind of be like, you're in a brawl, but there's rules and you have to think about certain things. And we get a sense of you like in those situations too. Like we get kind of like we see people's like just how they approach things like that, and it builds them also a little bit of confidence also when they get to go in with other people too.
All right. I wanted to talk to you about the state of New York. Not like the state of New York, but it's just the East Coast in general, just a unique world on it's like a whole, it could be a whole country on its own already, right?
Kind of is.
It kind of is. Its own
outlook, vibe, accent.
Then New York City is its own country on its own, outside of just New York State.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's several different teams in New York. There's the Sentinels, which kind of your regional team, right? And then you have, or is it the Plague-Rats, your regional team?
Kind of, yes. So the Sentinels, that was the first New York City team. So
Okay.
I mean the Fighters of Gel, they picked the name inspired by the Judas Priest song, which you look it up, it's pretty dope. And like us. So the next this was also the ACL team at the time. Like the next team to form, actually it was technically the Plague-Rats, but like the Heliquin formed a little bit after that. But the Plague-Rats they were our kind of foray out into HMB pretty much. So it was just like, okay, well, this is a team that we were trying to basically avoid certain static at that point in time, and basically like avoid a little bit of a clash. But it was also an opportunity to just basically be a little creative with another thing, and so that had become our branch in that way. The Heliquin came in. That's the Huntington Heliquin, the Long Island team. Like they came in like a little bit after that. Like, but I think it was almost like the same week. Are
they still active? The Long Island team?
Not really. I mean, they've had different stops and starts. But I mean, we're trying to get it started again. We've had some other Long Island interest. We just need to just get people, But here's the getting the Long Island people across the bridge is a tough prospect.
Yeah, I've heard the.
And I'm from Long Island. I promise you this also too. But yeah, like I mean, I mean, like because New York City was always a draw, we would get people from different areas all over, from Jersey, from Westchester, which where I live now, from Long Island. Sometimes from Connecticut too. And also sometimes when people were just coming through. Having a spot in New York City, which we don't have now, unfortunately. Let me get in there, but it basically it's a central hub of the Northeast. So we would have people drop in from other countries. And just feel like, hi, I'm here from Poland. I'm here from Russia. I'm here from Brazil. I'm here from Mexico. And so we'd be like, cool, come through.
So okay, so we've got. You got the Sentinels, you got the Plague-Rats, you got the Long Island team.
The Heliquin. So the Brooklyn Black Company, Brooklyn Black Company. They were actually remained very active for one time actually during the pandemic, but they're also kind of figuring out things at this point in time too. But they're hiatus, they're not inactive. So there's also the Furies, the women's team.
Furies, shout out to Fran, her of Furies.
Shout out to Fran.
Then there's another New York State team. I only know.
There's a few other New York. Well, there's the Rochester Rogue Knights.
Rogue Knights. John Storm's on that team, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who else? I'm not entirely sure. I'm blanking out some other people. But there's different scatterings of fighters that have been around at some point.
So I know there's like what? So it's isn't there another like New York team that
New York City
was New York City team like
yes.
you guys were one, but they broke up because of
yeah. Without wanting to air too much the dirt.
No. I just want to say there's another New York team.
Like the short of that is basically like following the ACL split. We made an effort to basically be kind of league open to whoever else. Two of the leagues were perfectly fine with working with us. One of the leagues wanted to own us, and we were not down with that. And that particular person tried to make a play for running things, and we were like, nope. And the people who wanted to go with him went with him.
That's fine.
They have since split from him because you know.
So and I know there's a bunch of teams. So it's probably like if I probably had a ballpark, there's probably between 7 to 10 teams. Somewhat.
I mean, let me think about it. Let me just be sure to answer. So again, the Sentinels, Plague Rats, the Heliquin, the Black Company, the Furies, and is there anyone else? I'm gonna somehow, if I don't say it, it's gonna be like a terrible thing. I shall say.
Yeah, and then they say the Rogue City.
So they're in Rochester, which is actually a pretty good distance from us, also too.
Okay.
But, yeah.
And then even then, you guys aren't really. It's not really New York. It is Canada, but you guys aren't that far from even the Scaligrims. Scaligrims are like
not at all.
2 or 3 hours away.
As a matter of fact, the second time I fought, I also fought. What was it? It was I'm never going to pronounce it correctly, but it was a tournament that was in Quebec, and it was awesome. In fact, a lot of the guys that I also saw then are the guys that I see it basically at every single tournament. I mean, everything, national, international, overseas. Yeah. I'm like, oh, hey, it's these 4 guys, these 5.
Yeah, so that's why I say you guys can do a lot of stuff.
We do
for the most part, and never really have to go anywhere because it's you can get a solid. Even if 3 or 4 teams kind of just doing a tournament there, and that's kind of how you just do that every 6 months or even every 4 months, and that's just kind of what you do.
As a matter of fact, actually, so there was an event that was run by one of our former captains, Derek Flitcroft. It was at EMR Paintball Park. Mm-hmm. So we've had a relationship that was with them for probably how many years, but I think it was our 3rd time there. And but at that event we had at the Plague Rats. I'm sorry, no, my bad. We had the Sentinels. We had Northward represented there. We had Broken Plow from Pittsburgh, formerly Steel Legion, or associated with Steel Legion, and we also the Pine Barrens, brothers in Jersey, South Jersey. Yeah. And that area, it's in Pennsylvania. It's not very far from us. So I mean, I know for you guys to travel, it's like Texas is you can go for 12 hours. You're still in the same state. So, but really for us, I mean, we can get to places. I mean, even 3 to 4 hours, or less sometimes. Yeah. And additional to me, we've always kind of toyed with the idea of some road trips, but we always do try to make it. At least 1 or 2 times of the year, going a pretty big distance, and we go to Clemson. Yeah, we haven't missed any of Clemson yet. We've always had some representation there.
Yeah, I know you guys do that. I used to live in Maryland, so I used to live in Maryland, the DMD area. And driving to New York, it was driving to New York or catching a train in New York was a casual, it was a regular thing. And then back and forth, a lot of people from New York were I needed some time out inside the city. They'll take a train down to Maryland, DC. It's very similar. It's smaller but similar. Mm-hmm. Same people. It's just just going back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, whenever we made it to the DMV, we've also had a blast too. We've been to both Beat and Mayhems. We were the original one, which was us. It was basically the Sentinels and Heliquin. I mean, we basically both the same people versus the DMV teams at that point in time, which were the Juggernauts. I think it may have just been the Juggernauts at that point, but and there was just some various Northeast people who were also there. Some of the Knights Hall guys were there, and so I think Ryan or two was also there at that point too. But we were good friends with everybody in the DMV. Yeah. They went out of their way to also come fight us when we had the venue that we had in Harlem. So I'm always about let's reciprocate. Someone makes an effort to come to us, we gotta make an effort to go to them. about that. But yeah, like I mean, like I have a lot of fondness for Meat and Mayhem in particular because in the original one, because it was tens fighting, and it was actually like one of the first times that we had just we had a huge mass of people that came like just like to fight, to support. It was actually just, I think, one of our best just straight mobilization of people.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and it was because it wasn't super far and everything like that, but everybody was really comfortable at that point in time. People, and so it's, I mean, sometimes you have like an event where you're like people are excited to go, but and like but somehow getting 8 people, people come in, people drop out or something like that. But sometimes you have ones where it's like everyone's excited to go and you're like, oh wow, like what can this be?
Michael Johnson has laid out the gauntlet for you. He said he'll see you October 8th, but he said
yes.
But he said also, hop on a train come fight him at October 1st. I don't know what's going on October 1st. He said in Portland, Maine, October 1st. He said come fight him, but he said he'll definitely see you October 8th.
Right.
He said she's ready for a showdown. That's what he said.
I'll be reffing that match.
He's like, you're ready to see you.
So speaking of it's like I mentioned just kind of passing that the place that we had in Harlem, which was Circle S NYC, which we had a relationship with for many years. They did not make it through the pandemic in the sense of having like a bricks and mortar building anymore. So that stopped. So basically the pandemic, we had to figure out kind of like. I mean, New York obviously got hit bad, like just by density and in a whole lot of ways. But we were trying to figure out, like in the early days, okay, well, what do? We don't want to not do anything, and we had points at which we were, a bunch of people who like really like fighting, but who also don't do well with downtime psychologically. So it was also okay, like let's practice outside. So
shout out to Fran. She really tried to help you guys hold it down with that and try to find facilities and different things, storage units and different things we could do. Yeah, and she tried to put you guys together on peep game for the just even staying active, just
for real. Yes. So before we first started in parks, and where it was kind of distance or whatever, like it was also but we were still kind of struggling with the limits of what we could do there because we were not really sure we could grapple and things like that. Then I saw a couple of the teams were using bob dummies. Tidewater was, so I was like, yes. So I got a bob. I put some tires around it and I would I would put it in my car and we would drive to a park and we would basically like run up and beat the shit out of Bob or something like that. Meanwhile, like do like a Tabata or whatever workout before, and then try to work on footwork and different things and what coordination we could do with it. Like there was at that particular point. Then it was also like, okay, well, some of us are vaccinated. Like we were comfortable with a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. And Fran also like Fran got us working with a YMCA. So and they were willing to let us do a fair amount in one place. So but we were still kind of keeping a balance of distance, trying to figure it out also too, because the things are getting shut down here and there. What else we did? But then there was also like we practiced at my house, so I would get whatever. I had a whole lot of gear at my house and shit, but we wouldn't put armor on necessarily. But basically, I would say, okay, here's a striking practice. Like here's a thing we're just going to work on these things here, and a lot of the guys, the folks, not the guys, but the folks who would make it out would be like most more than northern folks, something like that. But we had some Brooklyn people that would also come out too, which was cool. Yeah, and so I live a little bit north of New York City, like in Westchester. So, but this is all leading back to what we're saying. So then we also recently we partnered with Hoboken Fight Club. With our man Danya from North Ward, who lives in North Jersey. And so at that point in time, like in this past year, 99% of us were vaccinated. Like we were comfortable grappling. We're probably like doing X, Y, and Z more. And so he brought how Northward approaches some things. So we tried to integrate those into our practice as well. And so we've kind of had like here's a grappling practice. Here's a striking practice, and then we'd have a monthly armor practice that we go to this indoor soccer field. And it was always kind of just adapting to kind of figure out like where we're going to go, and we still kind of manage that. Like so right now, we're kind of trying to figure out like find a spot that is just like that basically kind of like the most of all the worlds together, and balance out kind of like what I mean, like you don't want people to go too far, and at the same time, you want to still manage the draw of New York City as well.
Dope. Yeah. So before we continue, take a little quick break. We'll take a Hey, pay the bills. Gonna pay the bills. Pay the bills. Why? Once again, this week the sponsored episode is sponsored by Sacred Hand Tattoo. Shout out to my tattoo artist, Milan Monet. She hooks me up with all my tattoos. I have put her link in the comments, section. So if you want to check out her website, her work, she does really dope work. Shout out to the Sacred Hand, sponsor of the week. I appreciate her work. She does very solid work. She travels from Dallas, Oklahoma, I think Denver sometimes. She's been in Mexico, done some tattoo work. I think she's even been out to New York once or a couple times here and there to do some tattoo work. So it's great work. I'll probably I'm collecting a little montage, putting a montage together so I can put that in here in the commercial. But link in the description and link in the bio as well. And in the comment section for Sacred Hand Tattoo. And Morgan, since you're from New York, I put together a special segment. This is the second week we're doing it, called Celebrity Buhurt. And I'm going to take two people from the New York area, and we're going to discuss who would come out in a pro fight.
Oh Lord! Whoever is going to be mad, someone's going to be mad at me. Someone's not.
Someone's going to be mad, and these two people, it's going to be. I think it's going to be rough. I think it's two New York City icons. We'll see how they fall. So let's see. I'm gonna share my screen here, and then yada. And here we go.
Instigation portion.
Here we go.
DMX
versus Derek Jeter.
Okay, Jeter. I love X, but Jeter has been swinging his entire life. So now, all right. DMX is the kind of dude who will try to thrust
he will try to stab. He'll break the rule. He'll stab you.
Try to stab repeatedly. He's gonna yell at you while he's punching you. I thought that but it will be an entertaining fight for sure. Jeter will be quiet, I think, for the most part, but But I think at the end he would help them up. That they would be super, they'd be all the camaraderie in the world afterwards.
Yeah. What type of weapon do you think Jeter would pick up? What do you think? What weapon?
Jeter? Well, I mean, the easy choice, I would say would be two-handed axe, because
this translates. I think that DMX would go like buckler and like mace.
I could I think DMX used a falchion.
You think he used a falchion?
Yes. I think there'd be a whole lot of this whole lot of flash, a whole lot of
a lot of flash. You just go straight with the hands,
and he would be quick with it.
I think he would go with the mace because he can get with the buckler, that short buckler, go pop him with them fists, so he can get that mace kind of right into you, because he'd be talking the trash the whole time. Because he's gonna play that aggressive but psychological game. He's gonna be talking trash the whole time.
There's something that I mean, everyone, we all love punches. There's something special about a buckler. There's something personal about a buckler. Even though it's not necessarily gonna hurt you unless somebody's really close getting in your armpit or something like that. Like something about the hit and the sound that I think it feels more personal. Whenever you're doing it.
So yeah, I'm looking up the height. So DMX in his prime was 5'11", and in this picture he is 185 pounds.
Yes, I think DMX would be a solid grappler. I don't know if Jeter would be, but I feel like Jeter would also be quick, kind of come going in, going out, something
But Derek Jeter's got the height distance. Derek Jeter's 6'3". 6'3".
He would check like a motherfucker, I'm sure. So
yeah. And still around that, and even in his prime, similar to that, about 185 pounds, but still 6'3", 185. That's pretty cut. That's pretty. He's got that cardio for you. But then baseball is not really more so about cardio, more so about quick, explosive movements. But he's got that power of that swing, though. I don't know, that he might hurt. They may probably really hurt you. So yeah, I would give it to Jeter too. I think DMX, with the aggressive. With the hard shots, he probably got them hands. He's from the hood, so he's got them hands.
In fact,
yeah, but he got them hands. But Jeter with that reach just keeps him far from him. Sweeping movements, I don't know. He's got that reach.
So I will say, if they have to match weapons,
yeah,
I would it would be closer in that particular way.
Yeah, if they had to go hands buckler like
Yeah.
Fauci and buckler hands, I would give it to DMX. You got them hands, you know. In
I
the
don't know.
hood,
I would give
you
it
have
to
them
him.
hands.
I would still put Jeter ahead, but it would be a far closer fight. I think.
Yeah, far closer fight.
Hmm.
But no, I like to say that Celebrity Buhurt, everybody. If you guys have any comments about that, you guys put it in the comments. What do you think? Celebrity Buhurt. Gonna do it. I don't know who I'm gonna do next week. I'm gonna think it up. I'm gonna think it up. Celebrity Buhurt. I'm gonna figure it out. But no, I always think that I think that's fun. I think that one day that's probably going to be a TV show, Celebrity Buhurt, Summer Armor Combat, or something like that. I'm gonna put some celebrities, but it's gonna be like C list celebrities. It's gonna be like C and D list celebrities. A couple of retired athletes are gonna be saying, okay, hey, we're gonna see Bun B, and I don't know, and I don't know.
The eventual it's like, hey, reality show star, come on, why don't you try this?
Yeah, reality show star.
It always ends the same way.
They always end the same. Somebody getting knocked out.
Stop.
There's an argument. I don't know. There's a lot of that nonsense going on. I really don't know. He said, okay, now. So Michael Johnson says, okay, now predict me, him, and versus Marco. I don't know much about Marco.
So he wants to know who's gonna come out on top.
Yep, he's gonna make a helmet.
I'm not gonna down my brother. I'm gonna put it in Marco. I'm gonna put it for Marco. I will marshal this fairly no matter what. Marco has some reach on you, bro. Marco's he's a quick dude. It's like people sleep on the man, but he has made strides so much in the last 2 years. He's really he's turned his whole approach around.
Yes.
But now this is to say I am not one to sleep on Mikey Johnson, having taken many blows from the man myself also. So I saw him really cool weird at Meat and Mayhem, this weird kind of wrap downward, throw somebody down at an angle that was really surprising. Okay.
Yes, I'm looking to see Marco because I was trying to make sure Marco was not the guy that got
Marco Damiano.
Yeah, Marco was not the person who got his teeth knocked out at
no.
Carnage. That was somebody else, right? That was one of your newer guys.
Yes. So that was our teammate, Carl Ferez. Unfortunately, the helmets and chin strap issues. We have since fixed them, and we've also advised them to not necessarily just take pro fights just because.
Right, and I was kind of like, and when you guys had said oh, he's pretty new, I said, this is not the format to take a pro fight. At Carnage is not one of the places where you're brand spanking new to take a pro fight. But hey, I salute his bravery in the thing. But
I'm not necessarily listened to on this, but I really have tried to just counsel people. And it's like, look, if you're gonna pro fight, approach it like you would an MMA match.
Yeah.
Give yourself a series of weeks, study your opponent, study tape. I realize, of course, Carnage, National, something like that. You don't necessarily have the opportunity to do that. But if you just decide and you're going to throw yourself into a weight division, unfortunately, once you up beyond a certain weight, it's just
once you get above 210,
every range from hey, you're kind of heavy to hey, here's a giant, here's someone has 100 pounds on you and a foot of reach on you, and 2 feet of reach on you or whatever else. It's just cannot necessarily think for it, but however, though, Carl remains not the newest fighter, but he has a shit ton of heart. Gone to innumerable things, try to put together a whole lot on his own too.
It was just a bad look. Yeah, I would look at it. It's just bad look at the draw who ended up having to fight. It's he had to fight a guy who was probably 70 pounds heavier than him and had 3 or 4 years experience on top of that, another 5 or 6 inches in height.
Yes.
So just a massive person he had to fight.
So the key is all that's true. Mm-hmm. Would have recommended against personally, but he's his own man. But it was an armor issue. It was actually an issue with the chin strap and kind of where it was placed. So that usually we kind of we're ones installing it. This is not one that we did that with. And due to some weird fit issues, he was having some other problems with it, and essentially we fixed one problem, but then it made exacerbated another one. That's not going to happen again. We're reviewing everything that everybody has before they go. or the things are still on their own on person, but we'd be like, seriously advise you change this up.
Okay. But I don't know much about. I've never seen the person that Michael Johnson's going to fight, really. So, but I've seen Michael Johnson fight, and I know he's been working on it. So I'm gonna give him some credit. I think he's going to do. I know he's been working on his grapple game. I know he's been working on a lot of his long range games. So I'm gonna give it to Mikey. I don't know who's how it's going to fare, but I'm interested to watch it when it does.
I'm not even sure if they're in the same weight class. I think it's just like they're friends and might be
catch weight. Yeah. Sometimes it happens,
which is cool.
Which is fine. Hey, as long as it's agreed to, it's all fair.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of like, New York is like a very, like I said, it's its own country sometimes. But I guess my question is that where do you see the New York's, the New York, just that those teams going, all the teams they're going, what do you think the state of and what the future of is Buhurt in New York in general, even with all the struggles and the flaws? What do you think it's going
to be? I mean, I'm trying to think. What's good about it? Like, I think we've kind of discovered the last couple of years that we don't stop. Like, it's like there's things that are setbacks, but essentially, like, we figure out kind of how to make it work in whatever situation it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, now we start having some events again and stuff like that. Once
you guys had a lot of events recently.
And actually lock down a list. Like, I mean. Modular or otherwise, I mean, like that we'll open ourselves back up to having like melee events here. Yeah. As I said before, I mean, there's places that we can also rent, like, and that we have rented before. We've thought about, like having events there, but we still want. But we're making different choices about like kind of like basically how to advertise, how to have things a bit more public also too. I mean, so yeah, but like I mean, it's interesting, but like we used to be at a point at which we could do a whole lot of things basically domestically, and then travel wise. Now we've done a whole lot more travel recently.
Yeah, and I've seen you guys do more travel. I know. Before one of my bucket list things to do is to come up to New York and do the next tournament. I don't know when that's going to happen. I'm going to figure it out. I got lots of things to do. Warlords keep me busy, and then Knights of Counter stuff keeps me busy. We're going to talk about that in a second. But so a lot of stuff keeps me busy, and I would like to see. I'm excited to see what happens in the New York areas. I know you guys started to do events again, like you were saying. So I'm kind of excited to see how that goes, and maybe I can get something on the bucket list.
Yeah, one of the coolest things has also. I mean, there was a window of time when in the Northeast there was only a couple places that would really had lists or could have regular events. Now there's more. So and it's like, hey, we've driven this far south, driven this far north. Let's try to drive this far west.
Yeah,
and I mean, like Pittsburgh is coming up. Like we have nothing but good experience with the Pittsburgh dudes, like Tidewater's on the team. They're like really cool people. The Iron Lions, we just got to meet as well. Like, and so basically we're keeping the avenues open to as many people as possible, and bridges between as many as possible. But I mean, it's really kind of a matter of like who wants to go this week, who wants to go this month or something like that, and then you want to pick something that's not gonna take the wind out of like the team for like a nationals or like a qualifier event or something like that. So a lot of it's timing.
Yeah. But like I said, let's talk about the. You're one of the I would say like the OGs of the original crew of original people from the Knights of Wakanda.
Forever. However, I have yet to fight with the Knights of Wakanda.
Yeah, I know we've been like hoping we just like figure out one more. We've been asking like when Morgan and Angel gonna show up to events.
The thing for me is because debut event is Dragon Con. It's the timing is just not great for me with Dragon Con.
Yeah, I know. Like I know last year you were like, "Hey man, this is the family vacation times. Like this is what we do every year." I was like, "Yeah," I knew so. And then Angel was gonna come, but then Angel's had some issues, and their friends like, "Oh yeah, my friend."
Friend made it out to the last one.
Yeah, and she's gonna be at this one too.
Yeah, but like honestly, it's going to be again a matter of like this. Where is another time?
Right, and that's yeah, and I know we're going to figure it out. I think I know that Spencer has some things he wants us to try to do. I know there's a Blurred Con next year. I know we're trying to do that next year with an event. So there's going to be different opportunities for it. I think I think it was a good thing that a lot of good things happened right this year for just Mexico kind of general, right?
Hold on. We gotta shout out Charles too, because it all started from Charles.
Yeah. Charles is the first one was like, I want a photo of all all Black for Black History Month, and then it spurned into this whole thing. So I think so. I wanted to ask you for your perspective. What did even, and it wasn't. I don't want, and I always try to make people understand it's not a. It was never White County is not a primary thought. It's always like a secondary thought of just, this is just very interesting that there's just like a select few of people that are just of just diversity and color that just happen to be doing the sport. So I guess for you, like, what does it mean even for you?
Well, all right. So I mean, like, I don't want to say so like when I started with it, but in the very like around like the second time I was fighting also too, like I remember asking, I was like, am I the first Black fighter? And I was like, no, like there's Adrian Russell. It's like, oh shit! And I heard some stories about him. So like some legendary stories about him, and in New York also. We were in Harlem too. So we had more Black people like just come in more also too, and but it's also I mean like being like league wise, like people being kind of the drops in the bucket. I mean, you're always kind of like, what's up? You kind of go out of your way to be like, hey, I'm out here too. I'm good to see you out here and everything. That's it. So I think we've always been like a little bit friendly to each other. So we want to be like, oh, what's up? Good to see us out here. And so but like the interesting thing is, and I guess it's true, but it's also like, I mean, like it's one of those things that it's also, it still seems so surprising to the public actually, that people when they get excited they get really excited.
Yeah, really excited.
There was one like was it a TikTok friend or something? It was something where she was just talking about steel fighting, and a girl's like, not gonna lie, I would die for Fran. Like,
yeah. And we were just like, really? Yeah, we were watching. I shared that, and I caught that comment. I was like, I screenshot. I was like, oh wow, it's getting real. It's getting serious right now. Because because I tell people like, when you have on the armor, you really can't tell who's under there. I mean, even if you're wearing like a wolf rib or something like that, you could still barely tell who's in there. So until the moment you take the helmet off, your helm off, and then your people are like, oh, really?
Okay. And it's a misconception also that Black people don't like medieval stuff. They do. Yeah. They do go to Red Fair. They do. And it's like it's like we watch Game of Thrones and all that stuff too. Sure. But I mean, it is something. I mean, we've had events and we take our helms off and people see us. They're kind of like, hey, brother, like you're out here. Yes, yeah. It's just like, yes, and if you want to be out here, we'll show you how.
Yeah, no, definitely things. No, but
it's also because I mean, like, steel fighting it's not just that it's an extreme sport. It's one of the it's a unique kind of sport where, I mean, obviously, whatever background you have, like athletic, otherwise, can translate in somewhere or other. I mean, so you have people who have football experience, wrestling, retire, something like that. Like, it's not like we're not represented in those things either. Yeah. So when people like, I mean, like in some ways, I think people can. I mean, basically for us, like people can graduate to Buhurt, like in a sense also too. So it's also like, all right, like like I was doing some Muay Thai, but now I'm gonna hit people with axes, yeah, and some punches and kicks.
Yeah, so I know we talk about it in the chat, but we don't always talk about it. I guess like since we've kind of like organized a little bit more, what's like the most interesting thing to you about what we've like some of the things that we've done? Yeah, for Knights of kind of like as a group since in the last year or two.
Right. Like well, all right. So what I've actually always wanted to do though is I mean, aside from fighting, is I wanted to at some point have just like, I don't know, like a weekend where we all hang out, basically. I mean, because I mean, like there's the folks I know, and I know a lot of folks, but it's like folks that I've met here and there, or I know from Facebook. Really, it's not folks that I know very well. So and I mean, I'd love to hear every one of Adrian's stories. Yeah, sure. Like, but I mean, I don't know. Like, it's kind of a funny thing where it's like like when your teammates like start doing stuff and doing well, like whatever team you're on, you're kind of cheering for them also. Like so,
Yeah.
I cheer on people that I don't really know super well.
I appreciate that, by the way. You were like cheering me on in the car. She was like, "Yeah, man, get in there."
Yeah. But I mean, but the folks that I do know, well, obviously New York folks, Danielle also too from DMV. Like, I mean, I don't know, like we've all I think become a little bit closer. Like we've certain just expectation of friendship, which I mean, it's always going to be there. I think in steel fighting as well. But you know, somebody else is a little bit better too.
Yeah, and I try not to hold it back. I try not to roast people even harder in the chat when we do end up fighting each other.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I had I think one time I had Angel in a headlock once. I was like, yeah, I'm like, I don't think he really heard me because his helmet's so thick.
Right. I promise you, he did not hear you.
I'm like, yeah, Angel is like, give me here. Yeah. And I know, like a couple of times I've had like Kai or Howard like stuck in some good positions, or just one time Howard just lightened me up one time on the Carnage one year, just with his axe. I'm like, oh man, this hurts. This sucks. I don't want to be here. Like, come on, Howard, we're supposed to be cool. Let me down. Don't hit me as many times.
And additionally, also too, I mean, there's also, I mean, when you actually, I mean, you see people, there's people you also just see at events every so, I mean, like the national, international, whatever else. But I mean, I mean, I don't know. You've had some conversations here and there. You get to know people a little better. It's just like, oh, I know you from here. Well, it's not like I got to know Dylan a little bit at one of the Cerberus training camps a while ago. Like, like Howard, I've talked a couple times as well. Like, and I mean, like I don't know. It's also just like you feel a little bit different connection. But there's also just okay, like here's some other motivated people that I've gotten to know a little bit, or you kind of just see like their mind, how they fight a little bit, and then and it's all right. Maybe sometime we'll fight on the same side.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I know there's one thing that you said you wanted, and you had mentioned in the chat like a while ago, and then it was right before qualifiers and just ended up happening. But I know you said one of the things that you wanted to do, and you and Dylan both have said that's really something you really want, is that you both wanted to be knighted by Adrian.
Oh no, I've been knighted.
Oh, you've been knighted.
But yes. But I would love if some of our other people like that was not me. But if someone, I would say like, hey, like if somebody went like and Adrian was there, like that. Yeah. You mixed me with that person. I'm not sure.
Maybe it was. I know Dylan said it, but I know someone else. Maybe I just got mixed up. Maybe I thought it was you, but somebody else said they wanted to be knighted by Adrian at Battle of Nations or somewhere overseas at something.
Speaking of, did you fight overseas? Did you fight?
I have never gotten. Every time I've gotten a chance, it always gets canceled.
It is.
I qualified for melees. I qualified for singles. It gets canceled, and then right before, I don't know. Whenever that's going to happen. I don't know. Maybe one day. I don't know.
Yeah, like I mean, aside from IMCF, man, I think honestly, I mean, North America is we're gonna have to figure out a way to do something.
Yeah. Here. We'll figure something out. Like I said, every time I qualify, it gets canceled. I've qualified twice now, gets canceled. So, I think and I know that I have been invited on some one-off stuff to go something. Like I've been invited to 2 different duels tournaments overseas. It's not the same if I go by myself. It's just I think some people out in Poland and guys out in Spain invited me to come do some stuff, but it's not the same by myself at this stage. I want to go with my team.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'll go do singles or whatever. But for this one, the first time I want to go with my team and represent my team, not represent myself.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's something special about when you go over there with like this pool of people that have been drawn from everybody else, and then also like, hey, we're all representing the United States. But there's something I think that is really it's a privilege. Like I mean, and also like I mean like you know each of your abilities because you've beaten the shit out of each other over the course of the last 12 months, and then you get shoulder to shoulder with these people that you're going to fight. Okay, like here's 30 to 150 like people from other countries, and that's a throw down one.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, like, dude, like, go overseas, like, have the team experience, like whatever you can.
Oh, for sure, I will. One other thing I want to ask you about, because I feel like as co-captain, you have to take at least partial responsibility of. Okay. I don't have the picture. I was trying to find it, but I don't have it right now. I need you to take responsibility of Angel and his Gambeson.
I bought him that Gambeson.
Right before, and that's great. But then, like,
yes.
That was a long time ago. And at this point in day and time, I feel like
you should.
And I wish I had a picture of it. I wish I could show you guys how it looks like it's alive.
At a certain point, you just got to be impressed. You're like, wow, they together. Wow.
Yeah, it's still together. I don't know how, who, what, where, and why. I wish I could show you guys a picture of it. I was trying to find it and I couldn't. And it looks like it's been inhabited by, it's been and by some other living creature. That she's like it's alive, and he just haven't found a chance to replace it yet.
Mm-hmm. In another sense, also too, you kind of want to ride that horse until it dies. Like it reaches a certain place of honor. You're like, we gotta just.
It's at that point. You gotta tell me. The thing is, like, it's like full matted on one side. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was the original hole that was there, but it just was whole, or if that was just like it just got bigger, or if that was always there. I don't really know. Yeah. But the retirement has arrived. I don't know if we got to do like a fundraiser, or we got like a memorial ceremony, or I don't know what we got to do.
It affords certain protection. It's bumped up in stats. You can't see it on the outside, but it's there.
Yeah, it's bumped up in stats. It's soaked in all the knowledge and the experience for over time. Which is a good luck thing. I'm sure there is probably some seamstress over there that might even be able to save it. I don't really know, but she might even be like the smell or just the life upon its own that she can't do it. But yeah, we're coming up to the end of the show, everybody. I want to thank everybody for watching Best Beer Thoughts. Like I said, we're going to be doing a lot more episodes of these. I will have one more episode. Next week, I will have a Christine Napolitano. Will be my guest. And then we will go on a 2-week break probably because I will be at Dragon Con and then I will be on vacation. I haven't had a vacation in, I don't know, like a year and a half, 2 years. So I'm going on vacation.
You were saving that time to go international.
I've been saving up, and I was like, well, I don't know this is gonna happen, so I'm gonna save. I'm gonna spend that money. I'm probably gonna try. I'm gonna super hard resist not to buy anything super ridiculous at Dragon Con. Morgan, have you been to Dragon Con? Have you been there?
Not yet. That particular timing is just always a little tough for me.
So someday, I definitely would say bucket list. It has to bring the family. I don't know what you got to do. It is definitely on the bucket list. You have like 2,000-3,000 people there, watching. It's just nothing like it. It's what you feel like the sport should be, but then you're just kind of goofing around a little bit too. But it's super fun. But it is one of the most difficult tournaments I have because it's so condensed into it's a 2-day tournament condensed into like 6 hours.
That's what people say.
It's
back to back.
So it is very difficult. But if you get your cardio right and you just kind of really prepare for it and kind of balance what you want to do, unlike some people who signed up for everything. If you know Spencer, he signed up for duels, melees, pro fight. Then he does a panel before, panel after. Like I was like, that's too much, man. I don't know how you do that. I can't do that. But no, but so for anybody who is watching this, new Buhurt fighters, new Armor Combat fighters, Dragon Con is a bucket list. It should always be in your bucket list. I know Knights of Wakanda is going to be there. I think we're going to have we're going to have 8. We're going to have 7. So we will be there. We will be there. We got some good. Hoping we get that 2 years in a row. That 2-year title. 2 years in a row we won that championship. That title. Hopefully we maybe next year Captain Morgan or Angel will take over for me because I don't think I'll be able to make. I'm almost positive I won't be able to make next year unless someone pays it for me because it is kind of. I'm not gonna lie. It is expensive. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Now I tried to do it on the budget, but it's still kind of rough even for me. But Morgan, before we get out of here, anything you want to talk about last, or you want to talk about or promote for your teams or anything?
Sure. I mean, like, we'll wait until we lock down the next date for the other tournament, but it will be a rooftop tournament. It will be duels and pro fights, and it will be open. So we're trying to basically like have people come in, whoever wants to fight, they want to throw down for sure.
What ballpark? What month we talking about? We talking about October, November, October? Man, I wish I could do it in November, man. Y'all gotta give me some November, December dates. I might be able to fight pro fight.
That place really liked us, so we intend to be there so long as the weather permits and everything like that too. So yeah, it was very good in the summer too. Because it was at a roof. Like you would have thought it would have been hotter, but it was actually pretty decently breezy.
I'm all for. I can fight in the cold. I don't have a problem fighting cold. I don't have a problem.
That can also feel better too.
I know it gets super cold in New York, so I'm all for coming up there in the fall or in the winter to come up to fight somebody. As long as it doesn't snow, I'm good. I can come up there.
Last thing I will shout out also is here's a promotional Sentinel shirt that we will be using. It'll be fundraising for Ukraine. This is a prototype that I've supported for a while, but it's taking a little bit of time, like admittedly a little too much time, but we will get it up and running. And all the proceeds will be going to benefit fighters in Ukraine.
All right, for sure. Well, y'all, we're coming up to the last sip. So you know what time it is. The last sip. We're gonna give it the last sip beer prayer. But before I get into that, I kind of want everybody to know that doing the show is hard. I actually found out that I really realized I've done 50. This is my 51st episode.
Wow.
It took me 2.5 years to get to 51 episodes. That's a lot of stopping and starting. And a lot of podcasts, they get to like 10, 12, a dozen, maybe 20. They call it quits. I had to reformat the show, I don't know, 3 or 4 times and change the days. So it used to be in person. Then it wasn't in person. And then it was via Instagram. And then it was audio only. Then it was video. And then I switched to now it's live streamed every Sunday. Instead of went from Mondays to Wednesdays. And then now it's on Sundays, live streamed every Sunday. But I appreciate you guys still supporting the show on YouTube, on Facebook, on my Instagram, commenting and things like that, and asking for more beer stuff, more beer fights, and more beers, more Buhurt, more Armor Combat. So I really appreciate everybody. Once again, thank you to my sponsor, Sacred Hand, in the comments. That's their logo all the way up in the screens somewhere up here, around here.
Side, actually.
I appreciate Morgan. Thank you for coming on, being on the show. Appreciate it. I'm gonna get some more people from your teams on the show at some point, eventually, one day. But before we end the show,
do Fran next.
Yeah, Fran. I do got to get Fran.
Yeah, she heard I was going on. She's like, Cyrus didn't invite me to. I'm like, so, you got to talk.
It's a one-on-one interview. I'm gonna get to Fran. We got to talk anyway. But without further ado, we're gonna wrap up the show with the last sip.
Cheers to you, brother.
Cheers to air to water. Water's just as good, and I respect. And hey, I always respect people who do and don't drink. It's all good. But for the last sip, here we go. Our lager, which out in barrels. Hallowed be thy drink. Thy will be drunk. I will be drunk. As is home, as is in the tavern. For thine. Wait. My bad. I messed it up. Give us this day our foamy head, and forgive us our spillages, as we forgive those who spill against us. And lead us not into incarceration,
yes,
but deliver us from hangovers. For thine is the bitter, the beer, the lager, forever and ever. Barman, thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Take care, my brother. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. And this was awesome. It's good. It's good to see a still fighting podcast. Period. All right. I'm not hearing you, so I think it probably means that we're going to cut out now. Take care, Cyrus. Good to see you.